Welcome to our weekly Tuesday talk for Great Hearts Online. My name is Jessica Smith-Perry, and I'm thrilled to be here with you again this week. The topic for today is the house system. So I am pleased to welcome two of our deans, one of our deans in Arizona and another dean in Texas, to discuss what the house system is for Great Hearts Online. So good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Christina Coley and Tamara Schoen, please take a moment to introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Christina Coley, and I am the middle school dean for Great Hearts Online Arizona. Nice to be with you today.
And hi, I'm Tamara Schoen. I'm the Dean of Student Success for GHO Texas, and glad to have you guys.
Yes, fantastic. Ladies, thank you both for joining me. This is a topic that is exciting. It's something that many of our Great Hearts brick and mortar sister schools participate in, as does Great Hearts Online Arizona and Great Hearts Online Texas. So I know that the house system exists to build community and bring our older students together. But Christina, I want to go to you. What specifically is it all about? How does this house system work for Great Hearts Online?
Yeah, so the house system is a program where middle school students, depending on the state, either ranging 5th through 8th grade or 6th through 8th grade, get together and they meet about every month. And this is an optional time, but highly encouraged time for students because it's a great way to build community amongst our middle school students. They compete in activities together. They play games. They do community building activities, get to know you things. And it's just a really fun, non-academic way to build those relationships with each other and also foster leadership in our older students and get to know your teachers in a different way than you would in your normal classroom setting. So it's just a really fun time for students, and they are really excited about it. And we just had our first house meeting, and I can't wait to tell you a little bit more about it.
Oh, great. Well, I'm excited to hear, and I know everyone watching is as well. So I know the two of you, right? One of you, Christina, you are in Arizona. T, you are in Texas. The two of you are collaborating highly on the continuation and further development of the house system. And it will have unique aspects in each state, right? So T, can you tell me a couple of the activities that are happening this year that you're looking forward to specifically?
You know, I really love scavenger hunts, and because we do have a lot of scholars in our houses, we reduced from last year from 12 houses to 6 houses. So now we're going to even have more scholars in every house. And I'm really excited for the scavenger hunts or our activity where we find out what type of recipes that people have in their families and they get to share that with everyone, and just community building activities. And it's just really great to see where all our scholars come from and how they can interact with each other and just build on that.
Nice. And Christina, is there a specific activity happening this year that you are especially looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to a lot of the same activities, but also things like Jeopardy, and even in our next house meeting, they're going to be coming up with a house cheer. So that's something that they'll do every time when they get together, or if they're doing competitions with other houses, they can do their house cheer. So it's just really fun and something that you wouldn't think that would normally happen in an online setting, but it is, and it's been so great.
Fantastic. Okay, well, I also need to bring up the obvious. The two of you have these interesting backgrounds. So I see T, you've got House of Caesar, and then Christina, House of Narnia. How does this relate to the house system? What do these mean? How do you determine houses?
Yeah, so these are the names of our houses. These are just two of them. We have 6. So we have House of Narnia, House of Caesar, House of the Shire, House of Beowulf, House of Zeus, and House of Prometheus. And our students are all in those houses, and they get to have these really cool virtual backgrounds that they're able to use not just in their house meetings, but every day in their classes. So it's a way for them to represent, show spirit amongst their house, have that kind of camaraderie with their peers. And do something that's a little bit different and more exciting than they would if they were in elementary school still.
Yeah, great. And so when you're talking about a house cheer, that's specific to each house, right? Each house comes up with their own cheer.
Correct.
Okay. Nice. And then, I'm just going to keep throwing questions at you, if that's okay. Because there are aspects and like words I know about the house system that I want to learn more about. And I know that families that are thinking about Great Hearts Online for their kids would be excited to learn about too. So I've heard of something called the point system. Christina, what is involved in the point system? How do you get points and what do you use them for?
Yeah, so the points are taken by attending the meeting. So, like I mentioned, they're optional, but really encouraged, and you get points for attending. So, we often have our scholars saying, "Hey, come to House of Narnia. We want more points," or whatnot. So, that's a really fun way to get the students into the meetings to earn those points. They get points for participating. So, if everyone is participating, they get points. If only a few, not as many points. They're also playing games and being scored on how their own team is doing on the game. And so if they earn so many points in Jeopardy, they'll get those points for their team. If they earn less, they get less points, and so forth. And something really fun too is they can earn merit points. So if a scholar is doing something really fantastic in one of their core classes, their teacher can assign points to that student's house. And that's another way to earn those points. And these points all accumulate, and at the end of the year, they earn a special prize, some kind of swag for their house, some bragging rights too, to say that their house was the best of the year.
Lovely, lovely. All right. And then T, this is clearly a huge community building opportunity for our students and for our faculty. How does this instill a sense of belonging in these students? I know in Texas, it's grades 5th through 8th. In Arizona, it's grades 6th through 8th. Talk about the sense of belonging that these kids have the opportunity to continue building on.
So it's really great. So I was in House Prometheus last year, helping lead that. And it's just really great to be able to get to know the kids across grade levels, kids that you normally don't see. And then also seeing the older scholars interact with the younger scholars. And because in Texas, it is organized by location. Sometimes at a in-person meet and greet, they'll see each other and be like, "Hey, you're in my house." And it's just really, really great to see, especially because we do have that virtual aspect. And sometimes you might feel a little separated, but here you kind of get to see them in a very informal setting, and it's really great to see how our scholars interact with each other.
Awesome. Awesome. And then I heard Christina mention the word leadership, right? Early on. So T, what sort of opportunities do students have for leadership development, building their own leadership skills?
So in Texas specifically, we will elect house captains. So the scholars will get to know each other over the course of the first semester, and then they will elect house captains before our house Olympics. And then we'll have maybe mini jobs within our house that our scholars will be able to take ownership of. And I know in Arizona, they will have the eighth grade leaders that are going to be doing amazing things and being able to just interact with everyone and just be a leader in their groups.
Yeah. That's just so important, right? For our students to have those opportunities to build their listening skills, to build their leadership skills. Okay. And T, I know that y'all are launching your first meeting series this week. And Christina, you had your first meeting last week. What did you see in that first meeting?
I saw so much joy and excitement. The students all received their invitation for their house in their first week of school during our orientation. And I got so many messages in that first week, like, "I'm so excited to be part of Beowulf," or "I'm so excited for House of Caesar." And then to actually go into the houses and see that same excitement as they're interacting with their peers was so fun. It was really neat to see our 8th graders stepping it up as leaders and really drawing in some of those younger students into the conversation, being facilitators. In our first meeting, it was really just a get to know you and a way to learn about each other. And I saw so much great attentive listening, some funny stories in one of the houses. It was House of the Shire. All of the students played instruments, and so they were saying maybe we should start a house band. So there is a lot of cool things happening there, and just really cool conversations and ways to get to know each other. So I'm excited to see what happens in our next meeting.
That's fantastic. That is fantastic. Okay. So at Great Hearts Online, we use something called Canvas as our learning management system. So this is where our students, our scholars go in to see their assignments, interact with one another and with their teachers. Teachers have access. Also, parents and guardians at home have observer accounts so that they can see what's happening with Canvas. Christina, there is a section for each student in Canvas about their house. Would you like to walk us through that to see what the students see?
Yes, I would love to. So when students log into Canvas, they're taken to this really cool Hall of Houses page that's just for the house system. So you can see all of these different houses are here, and each of these houses has some unique pages for them. So I'll take you through House of Zeus. So if you click on here, it takes you to this page that's just for this house. You can see each house has virtues that are assigned to it. So for Zeus, it's justice, responsibility, and leadership. If you click on your house door, you're taken into your Zoom meeting. So students will click that. They can click on their house lore, house spirit, featured scholars, find out about who their teacher is, fill out a questionnaire to get to know students more. And I'll show you, here's the house points. So you can see how the students are doing so far. But so far, here's the points from our first meeting, and we have some merit points in there as well. And if you click on house spirit, you'll see that there is a crest that was developed last year that's in here. The cheer is coming soon because we're making it during our next meeting. And then if students want to download their virtual background, they can go ahead and click it right here too. So it's ready for them. And they can have that, like I said, in any of their live classes. So there's lots of other things to explore on this page, but it's a really fun space in Canvas for the students to explore. Let's see, and I'm going to stop sharing. There we go.
Thank you for walking us through that, Christina. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, my next question is for you, T. The purpose, Great Hearts, we exist to cultivate the hearts and minds of our students in pursuit of truth, goodness, and beauty. How is the house system aligned with Great Hearts' overall purpose?
Every single meeting that we're going to have, aside from our first one, because we're establishing what the virtues are going to be tied to the virtue of the month that we have established. So all of our activities will be in line with that. And not only will the house system exist in the specific house meetings, but if a scholar is displaying citizenship or any other kind of virtue in class, they can get some merit points for their house. And it's just a really great way to just continue to remind our scholars about the virtues that we have and, the good things that can happen when you are virtuous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. Okay, as we close, last question. I'll go first to Christina and then to T. What else would you like families that are considering Great Hearts Online? What else would you like them to know about?
I would love them to know that community exists and it's real, and friendships online are real. These students, they find ways to hang out with each other, even if it's outside of things that we schedule for them. But these scheduled opportunities are such fun ways for students to get to know each other. And that sense of community, those friendships, they are real and alive in the online setting. And if that's a fear that you have of, I don't know if it's going to be the same, it really can be. And we would love for you to experience it with us.
Yeah, I just like the houses just make me so giddy because it's such a great time to be able to just be in a non-academic setting with your peers and with your teachers and just get to know who they are as people versus as just in the academic setting. So yeah, even though it is optional, highly, highly recommended because it is just such a good time. And especially in Texas, you might see someone at the grocery store who's in your house and you might recognize them, and make sure you always say hi.
Always say hi. Good advice. Yes. Okay. Well, Dean Christina Coley in Arizona, Dean T. Schoen in Texas, thank you so much for carving some time out of your day to discuss the house system and what it is and help families get even more excited about the possibility of Great Hearts Online for their kids. So happy to have you both with us today.
Thank you.
And in closing, so, we're hearing about House Olympics, house bands. There is some pretty exciting stuff happening at Great Hearts Online with our students. The Tuesday Talk series will continue, same time, same place next week. And our topic is going to be on the Reading Nook. We have a very special dean, Maya Wynn, joining us next week to talk about how she brings literature to life with her students. Hope to see you then. And in the meantime, check us out at info@greatheartsonline.org. Send us your questions.